8:13, let's dig in here. We've been telling you about this developing story out of Washington. A top U.S. commander in Afghanistan has been summoned there. He has some explaining to do about some comments that he made.
Got some explaining to do.
Congressman Joe Sestak joins us now. And Congressman, we want to get your perspective. Well, one reason, you're a military man, 31 years in the Navy. So, General McChrystal in Afghanistan, top commander in Afghanistan, gives an interview to Rolling Stone. Apparently the Rolling Stone reporters followed him around for quite a while this spring. Many different interviews, and watch how he interacts with the troops, etc. So some things are starting to drip out from the article, and now that General McChrystal's been brought back to the United States for their monthly meeting tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Normally a teleconference. He's going to be there meeting with the president and Pentagon officials, because he does criticize the Obama administration in the article. Is this a break of military code?
Yes, it is. And we're taught in the military that if you don't agree with what your commander, or you have certain comments about your commander with regard to what you think, you say that behind closed doors. Once you open up that door and go outside, it is a political official who is over you. It is civilian control. And so he made a mistake. Now, does it border to where you take the next step? Is this just something in the midst of a war where he's corrected?
What is that?
As opposed to being fired, you mean?
Absolutely. And my take on this is that we don't know the whole article, but it's not yet, I think, on the extreme to where you take it the next step. Does he need to be corrected? Absolutely. Is he an excellent commander? Absolutely. Well, let's make sure we haven't seen the whole article. But my take is that this is a break of how we are trained to be.
But it isn't technically the first time that he's spoken bluntly in the past. I think Obama called him on the carpet last fall for speaking too bluntly about his desire for more troops. So what if, Obama's saying, I told you once, now this is the second time? I mean, can there be another straw, if you will?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I don't know the extent of it, but this is not the same as General MacArthur during the Korean War with President Truman. Truly had a commander out there who took him on.
Right.
These are comments that were made that right now seem to border on, wait a moment, that's not the code by which we are supposed to live. So I think we need to see the extent of it. But this is an excellent commander who truly has a different way to approach the global war on terror. And so I think he needs to balance that. He did not take on the commander personally. He made an outside-the-box comment, and I'd like to see the rest of it before anyone begins to think he should be relieved.
And not that this is a big deal or not, but the general said that he did vote for President Obama, President of the United States, but he feels like he's a lone wolf, that he has a different opinion on how to be successful in Afghanistan.
Been there, done it.
Yeah. Different from the president, different from the vice president, different from the ambassador over there, who was at once a general himself. So it seems like it goes back to the disagreement about when he was begging for more troops. Well, the president did give him those troops.
He did. But this is where you have a value in a commander. Does he speak bluntly what he believes, but in the private confines of the room? Remember General Sensheki, Chief of Staff of the Army, who asked a question by Congress, legitimately said, here's what I believe we need to occupy Iraq, 200,000 more troops. He was shunted aside, but you never heard him in years after that talk about it or complain about it. And this is where the general is valued if he gives his honest, blunt opinion, but inside the room. Now, he made a comment. It looks as though he was having reporters follow him. Let's put that in balance towards the overall value that he gives. Should he be corrected? Without a question. Is our commander-in-chief, President Obama, doing that? He's called him back. But I think he needs to make the decision. Do I have the right man for the job? And if he does, correct it and move on.
What about the troops? That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was thinking about this weekend. I was riding with a girl, and she was with her husband. He kissed her goodbye, and then she leaned over to me, tearing up that he's leaving, going over there to fight. So we're still sending kids over there when it looks like the parents, if you will, are disagreeing. And some people are saying, they're disorganized. Why am I sending my kid over there if they can't figure out a strategy and get their stuff right?
We have a strategy. The president does. What we don't presently have is what's called an exit strategy. I just made a speech yesterday on this, to where we don't yet have the correct benchmarks to measure success and failure, where those parents can see by measurements, by metrics, are we succeeding, not in Afghanistan, but in Pakistan where Al-Qaeda is. But this commander, to bring it back to General McChrystal, is noted as a commander that the troops truly respect and like working for.
But in
we
the article,
also have to balance that. Yes, I know
it seems like he's saying that he's having a hard time selling it to the troops, too.
But that's different than having your troops believe in you.
Yeah.
Look, he took on a different approach where he wants to win the hearts and the minds of the people who live in Afghanistan, recognizing that militaries, just by taking out an adversary, don't necessarily win the global war terror. You need to win the hearts and minds, and that's a change. And that's why you sometimes have a hard time.
We will have to see if this quote is accurate. Apparently somebody asked him, what do you think, General, who's the real enemy here? And he says, well, it doesn't help to have wimps in the White House. Now, if that is an accurate quote, that's probably...
I had not heard that comment.
And again,
is that a...
We're trying to make sure that
and the thing is, and you just brought up the point, we haven't seen the article yet. These are just quotes that are being released. So when we see the article, obviously.
The bottom line here is, in my mind, is we have an excellent commander-in-chief, the president, who made a tough decision on Afghanistan. He has a commander who truly knows how to execute a counterinsurgency comment. His comments should be inside a room privately.
Right.
If they have been too egregious, then you have to make a decision. I hope they don't border on that, because I'd like to see the team move forward with an exit strategy, measuring our success, and if it's not working, to exit. But I hope that it is one that a team can continue on.
And apparently they don't agree on the exit strategy. They were supposed to be starting to get out of there a year from right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
much.
Congressman. Here's Sally Ann.
We have some hot weather in our area. Take a look.